Not a problem at all. As well. Hey, man, sorry about that. How can I help you?
Alrighty. Let's see. Well, we've got HP Spectre x360 with some no power problems coming in today. So it looks like we've got a possible charging port problem. Got our HP charger here with a USB-C amp meter, and I've got little signs of life.
I'm back.
At 20 volts, 20.26 volts, but only 0.065 amps, and that is with the battery connected. Disconnected. So, disconnect, but the second I wiggle it, cuts in and out. Does it on both ports. The initial background given to us on this device is that one port failed, started using the other port exclusively, and that one's now failed.
Could you swing it by that way? I could take it.
This model, you know, these Spectre x360s are pretty notorious for having some DC and buck controller circuit issues, but with the amount of wiggle that's in these ports, and definitely how just a little touch of the charger and it just completely cuts out, we might just have somebody who's a little rough on their ports. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is get the board out and take a quick look at the ports, see if we have any torn pads, any lifted pins, and we'll go from there.
And so I'll get your quote if it is.
I'm gonna go ahead and get
and it could be something.
Screw mat here. And we're gonna go ahead and get rolling on that. All right, be right back. Give me one sec. Alrighty, guys. Okay, sorry about that. We are back. Okay, so, sorry, morning brain here. Gonna pick back up. Alright, gonna get the board out. Gonna take a look at those ports. Hopefully it'll let us know that it is just a port problem. Just because, definitely tried to fix a couple of these over the years, and it's a little bit hit or miss. A lot of times it involves just a lot of ordering MOSFETs and various buck controller power ICs, and kind of ending up with maybe a little bit of positive change, but not a whole lot. And a lot of that kind of stems from schematic availability. Depending on these models, some of them have a little bit more information available than some of the others. But it's these computers are very cool machines, but the way that I've seen, as many of them fail in this particular way, as we've seen over the years, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I definitely don't like to have a system or a series of systems be on a list that I actively recommend people against, but typically these Spectres do make that list. It's kind of hard to say, but they're in very similar company, at least in my book, to some of the Surface products. They're cool and all. They've got a very interesting use case that they work well for, but overall, it just seems like people that tend to have purchased them kind of feel like they've gotten a raw deal. They definitely don't feel like they got their money's worth usually by the time the computer ends up here. And that's just never a great feeling. Nobody ever wants to feel that way. This is interesting. I'm gonna see if I can make that visible here. Okay. Maybe this will help. What I'm trying to point out here is rather faint, but right here and here we do have some liquid stains from where some liquid dried out, and judging by where those spots are, I'm going to put the screw holes here we're talking about on either side of the trackpad here. So there's definitely some amount of liquid that made it in through the gaps on the trackpad. That's something we're going to definitely make sure we keep in mind as we proceed with this teardown. And as we're just kind of, trying to see what's been happening with it. Let's see. I'm gonna have to get this sticker up. Try to save as much of its adhesive capabilities as possible. Yeah, if we get around to actually doing some edited videos here on the channel in the near future, I will make sure that things like this, when we do an edited version, will be sped up, so that you're not sitting here watching this in real time. Hopefully, maybe we'll actually get a camera an overhead camera with some zoom. So that might help make this viewing process a little bit better. But we're just kind of taking it a day at a time. This is definitely day 3 of our new schedule of trying to stream at least a little something every day. I hate these little plastic sheets they like to put on to try and keep the Wi-Fi antennas on. Kind of lazy in my opinion. We all know what they should be putting there, those little metal brackets, but you know, adds thickness, weight, a couple pennies. Who knows exactly what it adds, but it obviously adds something that is too much for a lot of these manufacturers to be paying anymore. Let's see, so we got here the cool temperature sensor. It's kind of tucked over there on the corner with the flex cable right there. So, alright, get this guy right here. That one last screw, and our last fan is out. No cool temp sensor on this side. Sorry. Okay. Ready. Alright. So we got a little pressure fitting, holding these in the corners.
Put a sticker on it.
Yeah, is that for this? I just set it right here. Dope. Appreciate you. I have his sheet over here. Set that down over there. That'll keep it there. Alright. So, well, so far we found that they definitely got liquid near the trackpad.
Huh.
They definitely got liquid that came into the computer near the trackpad at some point. Batteries got right here. Yeah, just some dried liquid stains. That's what we're gonna check. Just got the stupid board out. Things are a little excessive.
Not the 1X bubble centric. If you're ever listening, Series X, not 1X.
Okay, but did they send the right part?
Yes.
That's all that matters. You had me all worried that they made the actual mistake where they sent the wrong port. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over to microscope view here. I'm in view. You guys are in view. Get some probing tweezers here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change this view a little bit. We're gonna zoom right into those pins. Oh, that's gorgeous, everybody. Let's count the ripped pads. Alrighty, just like Dora, everybody. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez, 11, 12. I forgot 11 and 12. Sue me, everybody. Yes, every single pin on the outer rim of these is torn off the board. Yes. Oh, yes.
It is true.
Yes, but it is not what they were expecting. So we're going to need to call them and inform them that this is going to be a little bit more intensive of a repair. So, excuse me while I pause and make a quick phone call. Okay, so I just realized that before we go ahead and reach out to them, I need to make sure. I don't think I have these ports. I'm gonna need to go find these ports. Let's see. There's basically no useful markings on this except we're gonna have to go off a shape here. So looks like so it's got dual rank pins that are right up under this shroud here. So it does have a full recessed metal shroud, and it does have these front posts that do come out to the side, and it's got these anchor
generally about 24 to 40
push-ins, whatever they would be called, on the top side. And it does seem to be flush mount with the board, so it's not through. It's not a mid mount. It is definitely a, if you would call that a top mount. Let's go ahead and do some part searching. Nope. Hopefully this camera issue will be sorted out by tomorrow. Oh, solid. Camera died. Solid. Okay. Alrighty. Well, looks like we're just gonna go ahead and switch our view here. Sorry, we're gonna have some boring things on the screen. I guess I'll go ahead and put a piece of the board in view for you guys to look at. There you go. Alrighty. HP x360 13 dash some number I don't remember. AP 0053DX. I don't know if you guys know this, but HP, if model number ends in DX, and that's Delta X-ray, if it's designed to be sold by Best Buy. If it ends in US, that means it came from HP.com. If it's WM, Whiskey Mike, it came from Walmart. And there's one other one though, and that one always escapes me. And that one means that it came from the Microsoft store. So like one of those, depending on what area you live in, if it's a pretty urban area, they have Microsoft stores in the malls. And that is definitely. It's not a common thing, but it's another one of those options. So it looks like. So CL is a club model. Okay, that's Costco, Sam Clubs, etc. And then you also have, let's see, our newest option here. Yes, the newest option usually means it is the okay. I'm sure I'll remember it. If I remember it at some point in this stream, since I'm totally segueing off a topic, I will let you guys know. But as you start to, see a lot of computers in and out, or if you are looking to buy a computer secondhand or something like that, and you're curious about what what market that laptop was designed for, because generally they tend to put lower quality stuff, cut more corners and things like, your sometimes your club models usually your Walmart models, they'll cut some corners. And so if you're looking at buying a computer, just by looking at those end two letters, you can learn a lot about an HP laptop. So it does look like I don't have this port. It looks like they run about $27 a port. Whew. All right, that's going to be a pricey repair. And I thought Switch Lite USB-Cs were expensive at $7. I'm gonna be honest, this actually looks a little bit like one of the new OLED Switch USB-C ports. They're short in the back. There's tons of wiggle there. Yeah, and this is it's gonna be special.
Mm. 0.4.
0.4 amps on what? What phone is it? Pixel turning on right now. Is it a OG Pixel? I mean, definitely could be. I feel like I remember reading something about Pixel 3s had some battery issues, but let me see. I mean, I could just be totally. So I mean, the only way to know really for sure would be to go ahead and pull the Pixel 3. Is that a front load or a back load? I think it is too. If it's a back load, we can pull the back and power it with DC power, make sure it turns on. But I would make sure that he's like cool with that first. Yeah. I mean, USB-C port is very clean. Really not much of anything in there. Okay. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is pull one of these. I'm gonna pull one of these ports off. I'm gonna pull this corner one here, and we're gonna pull it off. That way we can go ahead and check and see if we are looking just what kind of work we're gonna be doing to get those all those torn traces fixed. Especially on something like this, because this is a B2B repair. This was dropped off by another local business. So originally it was quoted and approved for just a standard port replacement, which, given the amount of work that's going to need to go into getting this thing, getting each one, let alone both of these USB-C ports functional, it's definitely not going to be a standard one. You're going to be looking at board repair, and board repair with a little over $50 in charging ports on top. Usually what I always like to do with something like this is also go ahead and check what a replacement board is. While we always do enjoy fixing the board rather than replacing it, it is usually a good idea just to make sure that it does seem cost effective. Because when you're having to warranty something, gotta make sure that the repair is solid, and in doing so, you want to make sure that you don't set up anybody for disappointment. You know, ourselves here at the store, our business client, or their end customer. You know, the end user. Nobody's gonna want to feel like they got shortchanged. You know, whether it be the turn time, quality of repair, the longevity, how much work's involved. You want to make sure nobody's shortchanged and everyone gets taken care of properly. Because I'm sure for anybody who does any of this type of work, they know that completely running jumpers for every pin on a USB-C dual rank connector is definitely not fun. It definitely takes quite a bit of time, and that's if you're lucky enough to have it work properly the first time and have no jumpers try and migrate on you. So. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get this pulled. I don't think we need to worry too much about making sure that we flood these pads with leaded solder, because it's only held in by the ground plane. Everything else is completely ripped off. And that's going to make this a very nice little port to come out. Oh, come on. Let's go. Okay. So that's our aftermath here. Let's go ahead and zoom in nice and close here. So we might be able to salvage some of these with some clever masking. But definitely, at least a couple of these don't have much hope. Okay, so our inner pins seem to be just fine. Just gone. All absolutely. Just look at that. The lightest of touch. We got one on the front that's survived. And that's it. We have a one that survived. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and see here. Let's just wick these guys out while the board's a little bit warm. Try it. Oh. Alrighty. Let's see. So I'm gonna definitely have to pull up a USB-C pin out here, and I'm gonna go over exactly which one of these pads on the front are torn, and we'll kind of go over exactly which ones, what things each pin does. You know, if any of them are not important, then we will leave them be. but almost 100% certain that is not going to be the case. I think there's about one. I think the only one we may be able to get away without having to do is this guy right here. I think just about every other one is going to be important. For sure, these two. Now, we could just put the port back on without dealing with any of this, but the port will only work in one direction. Because we only have a single one rank is working. So, righty. Okay. USB-C and out. So, if we're talking about a standard pinout type, which from the looks of these pins here, we do not have any crossovers or anything like that. It looks to be just a straight back and over. So, this guy, starting all the way from the left, is going to be ground. These are going to be receiving positive, data line receiving positive, receiving negative. This is going to be main power in, so that's going to be 20 volts. Right? This is going to be SBU2, okay, which is SBU is the overvolt protection. Okay, so that is going to be a very important line there. And then just to the right, we have our traditional USB 2.0 speed data lines, these two right here. And then after that, we have a very important line. Okay, and this line here, that goes to this fat trace down here, and goes all the way to the CSD suppression diode. That is a CC line. The CC line in the USB-C is the configuration channel. And on this line, the charger, which is a PD, and a PD charger is a power delivery charger. So that means it uses the power delivery, probably, but I think we're on 2.0, and it is a type of power standard, okay? And it will talk to the USB-C controller on this line, and on the other side, the same line. And it will talk on that line and say, I am a HP laptop, and I want 20 volts. So that is a very important line that is damaged and completely missing. The next one, which is always right next to it, which is real great from a design standpoint, is because this is usually on some devices, like on the Nintendo Switch, that is a 6-volt maximum line. On most devices, you'll see, especially with cheaper devices, cheaper chargers, where they use a microcontroller in place of a PD chip, they will send 9 volts on that line. And that's actually one of the reasons why switches have so many problems. Is that cheap chargers will, and cheap aftermarket docks and stuff will actually send 9 volts on a line that's rated for a maximum of 6 volts, and will either, depending on your luck, it's kind of Russian roulette, it will either immediately kill the USB-C power management IC, the PD IC, or it'll kill it randomly over time. And so that is our V-bus. And again, so we have V-bus here and V-bus here. So that's going to be 20 volts and 20 volts. And then we have transmission data lines right here and here for our USB 3.0 speeds. And then on the end we got ground. So just about every single one of these is important, and we'll need to have a jumper run. So my strategy for doing this is going to be to actually take a razor blade and scrape here and here and run a jumper that is tacked with solder here and here. So we have a full exposed line. We might get fancy and make a little loop here and fill that loop with solder so it almost has a makeshift little pad. These guys, the best way is probably going to be to make a loop, fill with solder, and run back to like maybe about here with the jumper. That way we know we can see, the port should end like right about here. And we want to make sure that we can verify that those jumpers are strongly soldered back out here. This guy, gonna be a little fun. We're just gonna have some faith. We're gonna have to scrape, tack, make a loop, UV mask. This guy, we're gonna do the same thing way down out here. Same thing with this guy, way down out here. This guy, probably tack it down to here. Scrape, scrape, down and across. Same thing for these two, probably down right about out here. And that's just port number 1. So now that we know roughly what we got in store for us, and we know what the parts are going to cost, now we can go ahead and make that call, get that approval. We'll get those parts in, and then once we're all ready to go, we will bring this guy back out onto the operating table and get this repair finished. I'm sure we'll have some more stuff going on today, and I'll make sure to see if we can learn something together, teach something, and maybe fix something on whatever else comes in today. Until then, see you guys next time.